NWA series. For those of you joining us for the first time, I'm Karen Wagaman, Vice President for Downtown Development with the Rogers-Lowell Area Chamber of Commerce. And this virtual series was created as a response to businesses seeking tools and tactics to help navigate through the COVID-19 pandemic. This session is being recorded and we will add it to our C2C playlist on our Chamber's YouTube channel, which is Rogers-Lowell Chamber. And I will send everyone who's registered a link once we have it uploaded in a day or two, so you can watch it again or share it with friends or associates. Now, I would like to thank our community builder sponsors who are making this free series possible. We'd like to thank Cox Communications and Black Hills Energy. And I also want to thank Business Builder Leadership Coaching, Tim Snell. He is our presenter today. Tim is president of Business Builder Leadership Coaching, and his company is focused on helping small business owners achieve financial, organizational, and personal success. Tim is a certified small business coach and an entrepreneur at heart. He has started 4 organizations, including 2 businesses, a nonprofit, and a non-denominational church. And with more than 30 years of executive leadership experience in both business and nonprofit sectors, Tim has worked with hundreds of leaders, with teams and individuals from every walk of life. And today, Tim is helping us understand how to find ways to position your business for growth, both now during the challenges of a pandemic and also into the future. So you are welcome to write comments in the comment box below, or we can open up the mics for discussion at the end of Tim's presentation. So now I would like to turn this over to Tim Snell as he helps us turn an obstacle into an opportunity, and he presents Coming Out Stronger with a refocused marketing and delivery system. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Karen. Let me share my screen here. All right, can everyone see that okay? Does that look good? All right. Well, what a great introduction. And yeah, my business name can be a mouthful, can't it? But basically what I do is I help small business owners get their business set up to be profitable while also helping them to reduce the stress in their lives that goes along with owning a small business. So I'm really glad to be with you today. As we begin, let me get my slide deck's not advancing. There we go. As we begin, and as you look at that picture, I wonder, have you felt like this during COVID as it relates to your business? Maybe where you felt like, what am I going to do? Or I'm going to pull my hair out. Maybe you're like the businessman I know where he and his wife literally didn't know how they were going to pay their next mortgage payment because really the cash flow had just dried up in their business. And this has been a really difficult season for our small businesses. There have been lockdowns, our customers have changed. It's really taken a toll on small business owners. I recently read a survey that said as many as 35% of small business owners weren't sure they could make it beyond the end of this year. And that's, I think, illustrative of how difficult this has been for a lot of small business owners. I actually moved from Louisville into the Joplin area just as COVID was getting started. So I just struggled getting out and being able to meet people. And fortunately, I've been able to do that some over the last few months, but at the beginning it was kind of tough. And I'm sure many of you have faced similar challenges. And perhaps if you already have a business going, it's even been more significant, the challenge, because you've needed a pipeline of customers just to have the cash flow to stay in business. So getting through COVID has been a challenge for a lot of small business owners. And it's in moments like this where it's difficult and we're not sure where to go that oftentimes what we end up doing is we just end up freezing and not making good decisions. But I want to encourage you as small business owners today to pause and to realize that in every challenge, there is an opportunity. You know, COVID is not going to be the end of everything for us. And we will either end up seeing COVID primarily in terms of it being a negative or an obstacle, or we will transform it into an opportunity. And I don't think that denies the reality of what is going on. In fact, I was just telling Karen, I think that COVID has come to my home personally. My wife is sick right now and has been exposed, but I think there is an opportunity in the middle of this to say, hey, let's take this moment and use it to set up our business so that going forward, we're more profitable. And I think that that really does represent the opportunity that's here to kind of reevaluate and reset some things in our business that we may not take the time to do at other times. And that reset can ultimately end up benefiting us in the long term. Sometimes what happens, I think, as we get into business is we kind of end up kind of going on autopilot, especially kind of once we hit profitability. And sometimes what happens there is we don't realize that we're getting out of alignment with the marketplace. And so to take this season that we're in, when maybe we can't do some other things, we can begin to reset our businesses to have greater success going forward. And that's really what today's video and the next 3 weeks is going to be all about. Over the coming 3 weeks, we're going to look at how to use this time to pivot our business so that we can really maximize our profits going forward. And we actually do. We want to come out of COVID stronger. So today we're going to talk about refocusing our marketing, engagement, and delivery systems. And next week, we'll talk about coming out of COVID with our team that is more focused and motivated. And obviously that will position us well. And then on the 17th of November, we'll look at coming out of COVID in a better position because we've streamlined our business operations. So with that said, let's dive into that first one today. Why is it important to refocus our marketing and engagement and delivery systems right now? George Headley, in his book, Get Your Business to Work, says that if we just kind of boil it down, business comes down to essentially two basic things: getting customers and keeping customers, because obviously customers are where we make our money. Now, here's the thing: COVID has impacted our customers. It's impacted what they think about. They've changed their habits. Some people aren't going out as much. It's impacted how they spend their money. It's impacted their hopes and their fears. For some of them, it's impacted them, their mental health, or maybe their physical health. But the reality is, for our customers, their felt needs have changed. And so COVID's had this huge impact on the people who are the source of the cash flow in our business. And if the goal of the business is to get customers and keep customers, then we need to get our business into alignment with the felt needs that our customers are experiencing in their lives right now. And that's why resetting our marketing and engagement and delivery systems right now is so critical in setting up our businesses for success as we go forward. Kind of 5 basic things we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about resetting our customer profile, and we'll take a look at that in a little bit of depth. And then we'll talk about reconnecting with our core values. And specifically there, we're going to talk about reconnecting with the idea of really servicing our customers, which I think is a core value we all hold. Then we're going to take a look at that we might need to consider resetting some of our products or services during COVID. We'll talk about our messaging, and then we'll talk about the opportunity to reset our engagement and delivery system so that we're really making those customers feel comfortable and satisfied. Essentially, if you just kind of boil all of that down, it's the idea that as businesses and business owners, we want to become really responsive and nimble to our customers and the things that are currently going on in their lives, because things have changed for them and a lot of things are in flux. And whatever the future is going to look like, it's not going to look like yesterday. And so if we stand here in this moment of COVID and just freeze, that's really not going to be helpful. So let's begin with that first one, resetting our customer profile. Maybe in your business, you've never set a customer profile. And this is a great time to do that, because you have a certain customer that will use your products or services and is attracted to what you offer. And if you've never done that, that's fine, because actually most businesses really haven't sat down and written out what their customer profile looks like. So this is a really great time to do that. And if you're not sure what that profile looks like, you can just ask who has used your services in your past. That's a great place to begin to develop that customer profile. Or you can go and ask your employees. They'll definitely know, but you can kind of begin to shape that out. And along the way, you might find that your customers really aren't who you thought they were. I have a friend who their son he struggled with ADHD throughout his life, and he's now a young adult. But over the course of his life, he had developed some tools that really were beneficial to him, and he wanted to market those to help other kids with ADHD. And so his mom encouraged him to set up a Facebook page. He formed this company. And when he set up his Facebook page, in just a few months, the thing absolutely blew up. He ended up in less than 6 months with over 25,000 followers on his Facebook page. And the interesting thing is, virtually none of the kids with ADHD were following him on Facebook. And that's not just a generational thing with Facebook. What he found out was it was the mothers of kids with ADHD. And so he had to completely shift his customer profile from targeting kids with ADHD to targeting moms who had kids with ADHD. And so along the way, you might find your customer profile is like that, but I would encourage you to write it down. It's important that you gain that clarity. And when you do that, it can really set you up for success. Now, there are two basic parts to a good customer profile. And the first part is what you see here on this slide, which is just a basic demographic profile of your customer. The basic demographic information is going to tell you where they live, who they are, their gender, how much money they make, and those sort of basic facts. And so you can begin by just gaining some basic factual information about your customer. That's a good place to start in developing that customer profile. But the second part of the customer profile is perhaps the most important, and it's what's called the psychographic profile of your customer. If your demographic profile tells you who they are and the physical and relational facts about them, the psychographic profile is all about what your customer is thinking and feeling. And this part is so critical, because here what we want to focus on is what is top of mind for your customer in terms of their felt needs, their wants, and their desires. What is, perhaps when you think of it in a negative term, what is the prison that your customer feels like they're in and they just want someone to help them get out of that place? Or I once heard it described as, what's that thorn that's that sliver they've got in their hand and it just hurts them constantly, and boy, they just wish someone could pull it out, but it's got their attention. That is the part of that psychographic profile that you want to focus in on. And here's the thing, COVID has hugely shifted the psychographic profile of most of our customers. And so when we talk about our business, maybe over time getting misaligned with the customer, well, when you have an event like COVID, what happens is you have this very sudden, massive shift in terms of what's going on psychologically and in the emotional well-being of your customer. So our customers aren't in the same place they were a year ago. And if we're in that place where we don't shift with that, all of a sudden what happens is our messaging doesn't connect with their felt needs or with their emotions. And all the things we used to say that maybe worked, they may not even matter to our customers anymore. So zeroing in on that psychographic portion of the profile is really critical if you want to maximize the profits in your business going forward. Let me give you an illustration that I think will help you understand the importance of this. As business owners, we like to think that people buy our products or services, right? things like maybe we sell shoes or camera equipment, or Steve, you sell bookkeeping services. But the reality is those things are everywhere. There's a ton of businesses that are offering those kind of services. And so we have to think beyond the things that we're selling. What is it that we're offering that will connect with our customer on that emotional level? Our customers buy on emotion and felt needs. So what I want us to think about is how our products or services connect emotionally with our customers. And so here's where we need to be asking, what we need to be asking as we get clarity on that target profile. What is it that we're really selling? And let me add some inflection to that. What is it that we're really selling? This motorcycle here in this picture is the best graphic I could find for a Harley Davidson. That's kind of sad, isn't it? But some years ago, a Harley Davidson marketing executive when asked this question of what does Harley Davidson sell? This is what he said. He said, what we sell is the ability for a 43-year-old accountant to dress in black leather and ride into small towns and have people be afraid of him. And if you think about it, that's really kind of insightful, because on one hand, they're selling a motorcycle, but what they're really selling is an experience to someone who maybe has a certain image, has a life that's kind of routine, and they would like to have an experience where they kind of step outside of that bubble for a little bit. And so what Harley Davidson is selling really isn't motorcycles. What they're selling is an experience, and the motorcycle is just a tool in that equation. So what do you think the psychographic profile of that Harley Davidson customer is? Harley Davidson has done an absolutely brilliant job of tapping into the emotion and the felt needs and the desired outcomes for their potential customers. And so I think that can help us begin to see why getting that, especially the psychographic portion of that profile, is so critical. All right, let's go on to resetting our values. And when I talk about resetting our values, I'm really talking about the opportunity to reconnect to a core value I think we all hold, and that is the value of customer service. And the reason I bring this up is if our customers have shifted during COVID, if they have had this shift in terms of their emotions and their thinking and their feeling, their pain points, once we get clarity on that, then we have to shift if we're going to serve them well. If we just kind of stay where we were pre-COVID, then we're not really going to be meeting our customers at the critical point of their need. And so autopilot during COVID would just say, oh, I'm going to keep doing what I've always been doing. But to really have great customer service says, I'm going to be responsive to the fact that my clients are going through something entirely new. And so the question we have to ask is, are we really committed to serving our clients and customers in light of their current needs? And if we are, what is it that they need? I want to challenge each of us to kind of think outside the box there. What does our target customer profile tell us? And the good news is when you kind of dive into that and really get down to their core desires and needs and the emotions they feel, meeting that in terms of good customer service may not cost you a lot of money. It also might not make you a lot of money right now, but it will set you up for success going forward. Maybe what our customers need right now is they need a phone call and just someone to say, hey, I just wanted to check in. This is so-and-so from company A, and I wanted to check in with our customers and see how you're doing. And just the fact that we're not treating them like a number, they know that they're valued. We know they know that we care for them. What that does is that's going to strengthen the relationship they have with us and our business going forward. And so everything we do in this moment, even if it's not generating current cash flow, if it's laying a foundation of great customer service, it's going to resonate with our customers going forward. earlier this year when things were much more locked down. There was a fitness company in Springfield, and they couldn't have anything inside, and it was really the time when people were really kind of more afraid to go out. And they kind of dove down and were like, what does our customer want right now? And what they came back with was what their customers want is social interaction. Here, all these people are kind of locked into their homes. And so they created this idea that they were able to do at the time with the health guidelines, which was to have a fitness class outdoors in their parking lot on a Saturday with social distance. And so, they kept everyone 6 to 10 feet apart, and they didn't charge people, but they filled their entire parking lot up. And the thing they were selling really wasn't fitness primarily. What they were selling was social interaction, and they were meeting that need of their customer, and they were generating great customer service. And so once we begin to think through what would it look like to really serve our customers, we can really kind of get outside of the box and begin to realize that there might be some opportunities here in our business for us to really strengthen the relationship with our customers going forward. Third, then, COVID is a really great time to evaluate our products and services and see if there's an opportunity to maybe provide something different, to connect with what is happening in our customers' lives right now. And when you think of products that customers might need, I think some things automatically jump kind of to the top of our minds, masks, sanitation products, thermometers, and there's certainly an opportunity there. Just a few weeks ago, I met a guy from a brand new startup. They started the start of this year, and kind of really before COVID became a thing. And they just happened to start a cleaning business. And so you can imagine that business blew up beyond their wildest dreams, because they suddenly had all these businesses and places wanting, to be sanitized. And so they're growing, just great guns. But the truth is, most of us aren't in the cleaning business. And so when we talk about considering resetting one or more of our products or services, we have to kind of think a little differently about it. And I think it's helpful to ask ourselves a couple of questions. The first question is, how might I repurpose some of my current products or services to meet the current felt needs of my customers? Again, back to that core idea of customer service. And so let me just jump on that question and give you a few examples here. Let's say you're selling office equipment and you've been selling that to corporate offices. Well, right now, there are a lot of people that have set up home offices, and there are companies that have said, we're not going back. So maybe we need to think about, how do we repackage and repurpose the products that we used to sell to corporate offices now for home offices? That would be a way a company could repurpose their current offerings. One of the things that I think we saw during the pandemic was sign companies, printing companies, who sat down and they asked this question. And what they came away with was they just saw all kinds of opportunities here. And so they started printing those social distancing stickers that you see on the floor in all the stores you walk into. They started doing the plexiglass shields. They started doing face masks. And because they were able to be really nimble and really responsive to the environment and to the customers, they were able to capitalize on this and make just a tremendous amount of money. Let's say you're a teacher, a great time to offer tutoring service. I heard a story of a business up in Canada, true business, that the business was a gourmet food store, and everyone was just coming out of lockdown, and there was a shortage of a lot of products, including yeast. And so this place that typically sold already made gourmet food began to ask, how can we repurpose our products? Because at that point, customers were kind of afraid to walk into their store. And they came up with this brilliant idea. They said, you know, what if we take the yeast that we order in bulk and we put it in small packages and give it away for free? And so that's what they did. And they started giving away these free packages of yeast, and people would come into their store, get their free package of yeast because that was their one of the felt needs they had. And then while they were there, they would go ahead and buy some of the gourmet food. And so just a brilliant idea of how to repurpose something that they had available to help grow their business. And so that first question is, how might I repurpose some of my current products or services? But maybe we need to ask, what can I add to my products or services to better meet the needs of my clients? So some examples here might be, if you clean carpets, perhaps you offer a new service that would include sanitation of surfaces in the home or business. That would be a whole new line of potential revenue. Or maybe you're a massage therapist or a chiropractor, and people are all about their health right now. So maybe you could say, what vitamins or minerals do I believe in that could really help my clients? And you begin to offer those. Or a restaurant might add a meal prep service for people who aren't interested in going in and eating kind of in a larger environment. And so there are a lot of opportunities during this time, if we think about it, by either repurposing our current products or services, or maybe adding one or two things that allow us to use COVID as an opportunity to kind of expand our footprint and increase our profitability as we move forward. The fourth opportunity in COVID then is to reset our messaging. And specifically here, the idea of resetting our messaging to connect with our customer and the shift that's happened in their life. In that psychographic profile, as we identify the shifts that have happened in their lives, the new felt needs, the new problems, the new fears and aspirations that they now have, it's an opportunity to not just reset our products and services, but it's an opportunity to really get our messaging on point. And when we talk about getting our messaging on point, we're talking about honing that message so that it really connects on an emotional level with our customer. And so I want to give you this. It's just a simple graphic and a simple template to help you kind of think through your messaging. Every product or service that we offer either solves a problem for our customers or it appeals to some unmet emotional need. And so the very first step that we need to take in developing really sharp messaging is we need to articulate the problem that we're trying to solve, or that unmet emotional need. And so it's going back to that psychographic profile and kind of diving in and identifying what is the pain point, what's that fire that our customer wants to escape, and beginning to start to beginning to think through how our products or services address that. And so just kind of take a sheet of paper and brainstorm that, put some things down, and kind of get inside your customer's head. And then go on to a second step once you've done that, and say, what does it look like or feel like once they've escaped that fire? Once that sliver that has been annoying them because it always hurts, when they get that out, what are they feeling? What's the relief that they experience? What's the emotion over there? The third thing then is your messaging. Your message is the thing that provides the energy or the bridge to move your customer to leave the point of their pain and to move into that point of relief, or the realization of that aspiration they have. But your message in really good marketing is all about telling the customer the benefit they receive as a result of your simple solution. A lot of times in our messaging, we get focused on our products And so we try to sell products. Um, Good messaging always focuses on benefits. So let me kind of compare and contrast that for us. Here would be some examples. A chiropractor, a product-focused message. He would say, well, I do spinal adjustments. A benefits-focused message is you can find immediate relief from your low back pain through my low-cost solution. Now, if I have low back pain and I've never been to a chiropractor and I read, oh, I provide spinal adjustments, that does not connect at all, because what I want is I want relief from my low back pain. And so when we speak a very honed message to specific issues that are going on that our customers want relief from, or that appeal to their aspirations, that's going to get a lot more traction with clients. Another example, a dentist, focused message would be, oh, I provide braces. A better message is benefit focused. You could have that beautiful $1 million smile you've always dreamed of having. Or a digital marketer and SEO expert. I provide digital marketing services. That's a product focused message. A benefits focused message is, I will put you on the very first page of Google in your area to increase your sales. Now, if I'm not on the first page of Google and I hear that this guy can do that or this gal can do that, I'm all over that. I'm thinking that is exactly what I need. And so that provides that energy to move me from where I am to where I want to get. The product focused message doesn't do that. Or an interior designer, here would be a compare and contrast. I do interior designs for homes. That's a product focused message. A benefits focused message might be, I'll help you make your home feel stunning every day. And so I think you can see the difference there. The benefits focused message brings them from the place that they are, that they really would like to not be, and gives them that emotional outcome that they want. And so to go back to the bad Harley Davidson picture earlier, again, they're not just selling motorcycles. When they do their messaging, from the visuals they do to the words they use, all of that is really designed to speak to this guy, and they've identified this guy as an accountant. That's how honed in they've gotten, who feels like his life's a little bit boring or her life's a little bit boring. And so they want this adventure that they're not having. And so buying that motorcycle allows them to kind of step out of their current scenario and create this experience that they crave. And so I think you can see how that messaging kind of meets that emotional need. And so COVID is a tremendous opportunity both to reconnect with our customers because they've changed, but also just to think about, things going forward. I want to get better at being a messenger for my business. COVID's a great opportunity to kind of develop that skill in your business. The fifth thing then that COVID provides the opportunity for is for us to kind of relook at our customer engagement systems and our delivery systems. And when I talk about that, I'm asking on the engagement side, how do our customers engage? Like, do they walk into a store? Do they go online? How is it that we interact with our customers? And in acquiring, in the delivery systems, I'm asking, how do they actually acquire our products or services while also feeling comfortable, especially right now during COVID? So a perfect illustration that shows us the need for this was in retail during COVID. If you had a retail space in an area where things got shut down during COVID, you had better have a really great online presence and an ability to engage your customers, maybe through social media or email marketing or other ways. And then also you needed to be able to deliver your product without someone walking into your store. And if you didn't have or weren't able to pivot into a different engagement and delivery system, COVID got really difficult really fast. And again, learning to be nimble in your business and rethink through, how am I engaging that customer and how am I offering them the opportunity to get my products or services in a way that makes them feel comfortable, is a really key question to ask, and can really help us move as we move forward. And there are really four main levels of engagement and delivery that can help us think through our options here. And the first one is just really kind of the pre-COVID scenario. We have an in-person engagement and an in-person delivery. So this is where our customer comes to our location or we go to their location, but it's in person, and there's an exchange of products or services in person. And so that might be the exterminator that comes to your home in person, delivers the service in your home, or it might be where you go to a store and you buy a product in the store. But this is the normal, kind of the normal way we've always done things. COVID has shifted that for us. And so we have to begin to think about what that might look like going forward. Here's some other options. Maybe we have a remote engagement, but still an in-person active delivery. And by that, I mean, maybe we offer the opportunity for our customers to order something online or remotely, but they might still have to pick it up for various reasons in person. And so there's still that person-to-person contact at some point in delivering the goods or services, but we've made it easier and we've begun to minimize the amount of time that we're having that person-to-person contact. And if that's kind of the option that we choose, or the place that we find ourselves just in terms of the nature of our business, really important in that scenario is to begin to think through what we're going to do in terms of social distancing and sanitation and the things that are going to make our customers feel at ease. How are we going to do that? So on that number two level, just to begin to think through the eyes of our customers, the comfort level, the safety issues is really important. A third level of engagement and delivery might be that we have a remote engagement with a customer and we still do an in-person, but it's a passive delivery. A great example of this is Walmart or grocery stores. I know my wife, Walmart did this before, but my wife never used it. But once COVID hit, she used it and she's like, I love this, where she just orders her groceries online. She goes to pick them up and they load them into the car for you. They have a whole protocol. And so there's very, very limited person-to-person contact. And they've just heightened the level of customers feeling safe and comfortable in that. And that's really opened the door for them to do a lot of business that they might have otherwise lost. Another example that I run into during COVID is Papa John's. Papa John's in their delivery service has this thing where if you order a pizza and have it for delivery, they'll come, they'll knock on your door, they'll leave the pizza in front of your door, and then they'll step back, 10 to 12 feet. And they wait for you to sign the little slip for your credit card and take the pizza. And then once you shut the door, they come and they get that insulated sleeve they use to keep the pizza warm. And so they've made it so that there's almost minimal in-person contact, even though it's still an in-person delivery. And so if you think this through, you can probably get kind of creative here. But again, the goal is to provide ways to engage and deliver to make the customer feel comfortable and to open up opportunities for increased business. Then the fourth level would be a remote engagement and a remote delivery. And obviously we experienced that done tremendously well through a place like Walmart.com or Amazon, where we order something, the package just is delivered to our door. So if you have that opportunity, that's a tremendous way to do that. Or maybe you offer a service that lets you work remotely. Like I can do a lot of my coaching, not in person. I can do it. In fact, I prefer to do most of it over Zoom because it allows me to do some additional things and use some tools for my clients. But there are a lot of options here and ways that in each of these categories, and they'll all be unique to your business, but if you get creative and begin to think in these customer focused kind of ways, it can help you out during COVID, but not just during COVID, even longer term. And so the opportunity is in expanding the ways that we provide opportunities for our customers to engage with us, and expanding the opportunity and the multitude of ways in which we can deliver a product to them in ways that make them feel comfortable and safe. We're opening doors to becoming more profitable. And so again, during COVID, maybe your cash flow has slowed. I mean, I think it has for a lot of businesses, but this is a moment where we can kind of retool our business and not just work in our business, but kind of work on our business. And we can come away with having a better marketing and engagement and delivery system coming out of COVID that really, quite frankly, will make us more profitable than we would have been had we not taken the time to work on that. And so COVID really, I think, can be an opportunity. And I did want to say this as well, and I think it fits on this slide, is this is a tremendous time to expand your email list. Email marketing is not dead. In fact, it's proven to still be one of the most effective ways to build customer relationships and keep your name in front of clients. And this is a tremendous opportunity to begin to just have a system in place to do a regular email to your customers and maintain that relationship. So it's a big opportunity there as well. So all of these points that we've talked about today, they really kind of work together. You know, your customer profile, the customer service value, perhaps any new products or services, certainly resetting your messaging to hit those pain points and the emotional aspirations of your customers, and thinking through how to reset your engagement systems and delivery systems go a long way, but they all work together. If you just took one of these, I mean, that'd be good, but I don't think you're going to see any net benefit probably in terms of your business. But it's in working on all of these things, you kind of develop a healthier business going forward. And so we want your business to be stronger coming out of COVID than going into it. So whatever the future is going to look like, I don't think any of us know. I think we all know it's not going to go back to what it was. And certainly our customers and what is going on in their lives have shifted. And either from a fear standpoint or a concern or a pain, or from a more positive standpoint, there are different aspirations and hopes. You know, I mean, I'm talking to a lot of people in the business sector whose employees are like, I don't want to go back to a 5-day-a-week, 9-to-5 office situation. They've enjoyed the flexibility. And so they have different aspirations. And so being able to speak to that is really important. So I want to encourage you during COVID for the negative things here. Don't freeze. This is a great moment to work on our business. And if we take action, I believe our companies can come out stronger. Now, I did want to offer this. There's a lot, obviously, we've just touched on the surface here, and I'm happy to connect with anyone who wants some help at no charge. I'm new to the area, so this is a way for me just to get to know people. So if I can help you out, let me know. I'm happy to do a free business assessment for you, and I'll give you a free hour to hour and a half of coaching for free, no strings attached. So my contact information is on the screen. Feel free to reach out to me. So with that said, let's see if there's any questions that you'd like me to address.
Let's see. We've got a comment from Michelle in the notes in the chat room, and she said they are offering classes with Zoom and a pickup service for cleaning supplies for daycare and drive-up events, and dropped off items at daycares to homes for visiting families.
That's fantastic.
So that's great, because Michelle does have a childcare service.
Yeah. I've seen you at the Central Referral Connection, I think.
Yeah, as I was looking at different people's businesses, I was trying to think, okay, what resources might they have that they are not maximizing? And Michelle, I was thinking you probably have lots of toys. You could probably have a toy library checkout service or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Excellent.
Let's see. And Debbie writes, Tim, I'm sorry I was late. Previous appointment ran over and I enjoyed the last half hour. Debbie, you will get to see all of it because I will send you the link as soon as we have it on YouTube. So
yeah. And just a note here, I not only work with for-profits, obviously that's the kind of the centerpiece, but I do work in nonprofits. I have a quite extensive background in working in nonprofits. So I know that at least one person on here is in a nonprofit, and happy to, problem solve with you as well.
Great. Anybody else have comments or questions or ideas? Okay, well, I appreciate you, Tim, very much. I think this was really engaging and informational. And we want to thank Tim Snell with Business Builder Leadership Coaching for providing the information. And again, he is here to help you grow your business, help it thrive and grow during challenging times. And we also want to thank our community builder sponsors who support this series, Cox Communications and Black Hills Energy. And everyone, Michelle kind of challenged me to want to encourage everyone to shop local during this holiday season. So we encourage you to do that. And also, Tim does have 2 more sessions coming up. If you check the chamber, you can register for those. They are coming up each of the next 2 weeks. And again, contact the Rogers Chamber of Commerce if you have any ideas related to business building or suggestions for C2C workshops. So we appreciate you participating and look forward to seeing you again soon.
Thank you, everybody.